Joe, a topic I want to get your opinion on and would love to hear what you have to say about this, because I've had some interactions myself with these types of people and these groups of people. But you're much deeper in the crypto space. So whatever interactions I've had, I'm sure you've had 10 times more of. What are your thoughts on XRP fans?
Fanboys.
Yeah. Cult. I don't know how deep we want to go, but the people that love XRP, from your interactions, what do you think of them?
I think that first of all, we got to say is like most crypto projects have a cult, right?
Yes,
a lot of
they
them,
do.
they're very kind of like, this is the best, this is the only one, these are the reasons why you should focus on it. They kind of live and breathe. So I think first of all, like they all have it. It's just, I think the big thing for me, and I won't be able to say this in the right way, but like the big thing for me with the XRP community is you get a lot of lower income, let's call it, retail investors, right? And by lower income, I'm not slagging those people off. What I'm saying is, people that are buying decent sized Bitcoin purchases, they've got cash in the bank, right? And they're investing in an asset class for the future. I personally find that a lot of people in XRP, it's the influential one, right? So it's what they see online.
Yeah.
So therefore they go, oh, XRP, shit, it's going to the moon. I better buy this.
Yeah. My feed is full. If I do one search on X, for example, in relation to XRP, my feed is just XRP is going to $1,000 a coin. That's all it is.
And you get people that have bought $1,000 of it, $5,000 of it. And the problem is then they buy into the narrative of it's going to $1 million or whatever. And then they go, well, my $1,000, it's going to be worth so much money. I need to structure that. And don't get me wrong, whilst I'm sure you agree, you should be structuring for the future and planning for the future.
Yeah.
You need to have a little bit more than a few XRP in your pocket. And that's my issue a lot of the time is that, again, I don't want to slag it off as such, but I find, because I also, just to be transparent, I hold some XRP, right? So I'm not suggesting that
you're one of these guys, aren't you? You're going to try and sell it to me.
I get why people buy it. I think it's just that dilution is probably unfair, but we're so stuck on this. It's going to so high that, oh my God, my world's going to change. I need to deal with it right now. And I think some of that is like, slow down a little bit. Right now it's at $2, not $100. So
yeah.
Chill.
But what do you think it is that makes these XRP holders and investors
it's the influencers.
more delusional? But then what makes it louder? What makes the XRP narrative the louder narrative on social media? Why do people rally behind it and hype it up so much?
I think it's more just because it was, when you think about the earlier days, if you want to call it that, of crypto, right? And it became a project quite early on in the crypto life cycle. And it got a lot of hype because it was going to change the world. It was going to change the banking system. It was going to, whereas Ethereum and Bitcoin at the time, which were the other two kind of larger ones at the time, were doing very different things, right? Bitcoin was a store of value. It was a hedge against, other asset classes. And Ethereum was a blockchain based building system, right?
Yeah.
You would build apps on top of Ethereum that would use smart contracts to make things quicker and easier, et cetera, et cetera. So XRP was this different thing. It was going to replace the payment network. It was going to replace Swift. It was going to, I'm not saying it won't, by the way. So
we're 15 years down the line, and people are still saying the same thing.
So I think it got this big kind of narrative, and then because it started to draw in the retail, because maybe they could understand it, right? Because it was replacing the payment system. Understanding smart contracts is quite complex, right? Whereas understanding it's going to replace the global payment system we use today, maybe that just dragged in a lot of retail. And then when it dragged in a lot of retail, more and more people started wanting content on it. More people start producing content on it.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden, you now get these huge content creators that all they talk about is the XRP going to the moon. And I think that, and because we're on this point here, like the problem is you've got people that have got 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, which by the way, if that's all you can afford, that's totally fine. I'm not saying put more in. Like if you got, then great. Like, you're still,
unlike the influencers I see on Twitter.
Exactly. But my point is, if you've got $1,000 of XRP, it's extremely high chance that could be $10,000 in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think so. If you've got $100,000, could very easily become $1 million in 5 years' time, whatever. Like, I have no issue with that whatsoever. But you've got to see where you are today. You've also got to then watch what the market does. And I just think this hype of that's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
Nothing's going to happen tomorrow.
No. And that's what I see more and more of. So, like, for example, what we're in a bear market at the moment, and all these XRP people that I'm still speaking to still think, you know what, it's going to hit $10, $25, $50 in the next 6 months. I need to plan, I need to prepare, I'm going to be a millionaire. And they've lost their minds and they're just twiddling their thumbs waiting for this inevitability to occur. And realistically, it's not going to pump in a bear market. Everything's going to trend down. The market as a whole will trend down. So it's like, if it's going to happen, it's certainly not going to be in the next 6 months. Will it be in the next cycle? Maybe.
Yeah.
Will it be in the next 5 cycles? Much more likely.
And I think that 100% that's true. I think we probably differ and we've had messages about this separately. I think we differ on our opinion of where we are in the market at the moment. I don't think we're in a bear market yet. I think we're in the slump before the pump.
Denial.
Maybe that's because
the slump before the pump. How long is the slump? 12 months, is it? Oh, that's convenient.
But yeah, I think we're in a slight. But look, I think could XRP go from like whatever it is today, to something today, to $4 or $5 in the next 6 months? Absolutely, it could do that. You know, so if you've got,
I need to buy some.
If you've got 100 million, says the guy that got liquidated. If you've got 100 million in crypto, in the XRP, sorry, there's every chance that could be 200 million.
Yeah.
But if you've got 100 million, you've probably got the structure in place already to plan for that.
Yes.
If you've got $1,000, you might get 2.5 in the next 6 months if you're lucky. You're not going to get 100. Do you know what I mean? So that's my issue with it. Is I'm not saying it's not going to go up. I'm not saying that 10 grand isn't going to become 20 or 100 grand isn't going to become 200. But where it is and where people's lifestyles are at and where people's structures are at, I don't see that needing the kind of level of and look, these are influencers online. They're all talking about you need a trust in place, you need this in place, you need that in place. And so these people, in a way, I feel bad for them in a way, because they trust this person who's then saying you need a trust, you need a foundation, you need a this, you need a that. They don't know any better, because why would they?
Yeah.
They
so
then come along and
the
they
voice
go,
of authority.
Yeah, so they then come along and go, I need this. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure you do.
Yeah.
The problem then is because they are kind of
brainwashed.
Is that if you then say to them, I'm sorry, I don't think it's going to do what you say it's going to do, then they think you're the worst human.
Yeah. They dismiss everything you have to say immediately because you see the world in a completely different way than they do.
I think
but is that not like a true reflection of the unfortunate hype that crypto builds with these narratives? And it's like people who have detached from reality and have 100% bought into the hype. It's only crypto as an asset class and altcoins and meme coins that people think they're going to turn $1,000 into $1 million in 6 months.
Do you know?
In no other realm of rational reality does anyone believe that.
But you know, I completely agree. What's also interesting is you can break down crypto into different types of people, right? Like I said, the people that are investing decent sized money in Bitcoin, they're not looking at meme coins, right?
No.
But then you get other people that are looking at meme coins and then maybe not buying Bitcoin because they don't want a 2x or a 3x. They want a 10x.
Yeah.
I look at some of the meme coins and I look at it and it's gone up 100% in the day. And I'm like, nah.
Not interested.
One of them I hold right now is up 75% today. But I'm like, and?
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to go 10x, 20x, 30x. And this is the mentality, but that's a gambling mentality, right?
Yes.
That's a mentality or speculative, like completely speculative mentality. The other side to that is the more investment mentality, which is I'm investing in a asset class.
Agreed. But then place and emphasize probability of that result in terms of your rational actions you're taking today.
Absolutely.
So, for example, Bitcoin could and likely will go up 10% between now and before the end of the month. Realistically, there'll probably be a 10% move either.
100%, yeah.
Whereas if you're gambling and you're speculating on a 20x coin, well, there's a very small probability you got the right coin at the right time. You're going to take profits and you entered at the right time as well. So it's like, don't plan and talk about trusts, foundations, and tax problems when there's a 0.001% chance of that actually materializing. If and when it does materialize, then come and visit that problem. But don't take your speculative approach and apply it to actually very serious, time-consuming and costly actions that need to be taken and considered today.
100%. I totally agree. And I think the other interesting thing is we talk about meme coins there as I buy meme coins or low cap coins, let's call it, on the basis that I expect a decent sized multiple return, right? But I know also they're low cap. So I know what I'm getting into. I know that I could be losing my money. You know, all the things we talk about with meme coins. XRP is the third, if you take out stable coins, it's the third largest crypto token there is.
Yes.
Like, we're not talking about a meme coin here, but people seem to have this meme coin mentality that I'm going to 100x my XRP. What, you're going to 100x the third largest token, which then outpaces Bitcoin, and you know, all of a sudden you go, I think XRP is going to be the largest crypto. I'm not saying that won't happen, by the way. Like, I'm not saying that XRP will not do something.
Is it going to be the largest by a multiple of 10 or 100 by market cap?
And that's what you've got to logic, right? There's one token I'm in at the moment, and you know about it, and I'm very bullish on it. I think that it'll be a top 10 token, but for it to be a top 10 token, it's got to do a 10, 12x from current numbers today, assuming that the other tokens don't go up, right? Because if the other tokens do a 10x, it's got to do a 100x type thing, right? To get to that point. But I think that now I drink the Kool-Aid on that a little bit. I watch content creators that talk about it. I know a lot of people within the space, but I'm a sensible person. And I'm not now going, okay, I need to trust solely for that asset because I think my X amount of money.
You're not on Rightmove buying your $50 million mansion on par.
But I am building a portfolio. That is part of my portfolio that I'm expecting to do quite, hopefully, decent numbers. Bitcoin is part of my portfolio. I'm not expecting it to do the same number of X's anyway that this one will do. So
might do.
Yeah, it might.
Let's
will
correct ourselves.
It will. XRP's part of my portfolio. And this is the point, XRP becomes this Marmite thing, right? You either love it or you hate it, right? You don't have to love or hate.
Yeah.
Right? No. I don't love it.
No.
But I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Right? I know you do.
That's because, like you said, I got liquidated.
But like, I don't hate XRP, and I don't disagree when people say it could do this, it could do this. What I don't agree with is, as we've talked about earlier, that we waste our time and effort and energy trying to structure something that today is not worth the structure that we're talking about.
Agreed. But it's so interesting because it's got this such polarizing fan base of, like you say, you love it or you hate it, and anybody who's rational in their investment and capital allocation always knows to diversify. Yeah. But it's like you get these people. It's like, all my money's in XRP. But this no interest in talking about anything else. It's a waste of time. All my money's there.
And I don't want this to come across as like an arrogant, like, kind of like.
So what do you think is it's the retail crowd with a lack of investment education?
People, they don't know what they're doing, and I genuinely, by the way, don't mean that in a negative way. I genuinely don't. I'm quite happy to say if I do, and I actually don't. Like, great on those people that they've got some
risk appetite.
Here's a good example. My dad messaged me just yesterday and was like, can you help me talk about how I buy some stocks, right? That is the type of people.
It's the top sell. Right? I'm getting out, mate.
They are the type of people that are buying XRP.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know how to do this. My dad is a typical XRP. He doesn't have XRP, but like, as an example, he doesn't know how to invest. He doesn't really have loads of spare capital. He just thinks, I've seen something that in the news that things are going up and I want to get some access.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking. So he doesn't understand. So then when he sees this content creator over here saying, you need to structure your assets, your XRP is going to be worth so much fucking money that you're going to need this structure. He goes, oh shit, I'm going to need this structure.
I better listen to this guy. Yeah.
And that's where it all stemmed from, I think.
Agreed.
Whereas if you, again, I'm using Bitcoin as an example, but like if you take a Bitcoin investor isn't looking at it like that. They're not looking at 100x.
Yeah.
They're looking at a really solid, stable, we're talking in the context of asset investment. That's and whether that's true or not, that's the mindset that they're taking to this, right? Which is mental, considering it's probably up and down.
The most speculative asset in the world, and was highly regarded as for a long, long time, up until we have a conversation and put it into perspective of meme coins.
Yeah, and that's what I think people have just got to understand. So look, I don't hate XRP holders. I don't hate XRP. I hold it. We work with a lot of people that hold XRP. I just think people need to take a step back, move away from their content creator bubble, and really just think about this as an asset. Forget what it is. Think about it as an asset,
exactly,
and then go. If I had $100,000 in stocks, would I want to be setting up foundations all over the world to
prepare for when I've got $10 million? Agreed. And that is the thing, is people do need to take a step back, not just XRP, not just crypto, within anything, and come back to the rational,
Yeah.
passive, unemotional approach of let's just actually deal with the reality and the fundamentals of the here and now. Let's not start placing high probabilities on these really far-fetched outcomes, which may or may not materialize. If they do, great. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Because that's the other thing. It's not going to do it overnight, right?
No.
It's not going to be 100x tomorrow. It's going to be, let's say the 100x scenario pans out, right? In the next 2 months, it goes up 2, 3, 4x, right? The next couple of months after that, it does another 2, 3, 4x. Then all of a sudden you start to go, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can start looking at it.
Yeah.
Now I can start thinking about, I've now got some serious money to start. Fine. It's not going to do 100x today, and then we come back to it in 2 days' time and it's 100x. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So people have got time, right? So I think there's, like I say, that is a key thing. I think, conversations like this are also important where we talk about the other side to this narrative, where we're saying, look, we're not saying don't structure. If someone has got 100 grand and they want to come along and pay us to do a structure for them, like, they can do that, but it's probably going to cost them more than the tax bill is going to cost them to set it up. So then it's like, what's the point, right?
Agreed. So there you go. XRP holders. You don't love them, you don't hate them. They're just irrational.
I probably love some and hate some of them.
Yeah.
But then that's like, it's true in all life, right?
This is true.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's not a love or a hate. It's a rationalization. I think that's a really good point. So yeah. But if you do have loads of XRP and you are making shit tons of money, then we are your boys for that.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll help you structure it.